We know you've been told by scholars that the ark landed in Turkey, and that is settled, right? Try to debate in ignorance without reviewing our position on this video, be muted. Our channel, our rules. I know we keep getting comments, oh, that's so mean. Yeah, we're going to keep offering discipline. I know children say that the parents are mean for offering discipline as well. It is usually the very ones who intend harm. They complain, so like we don't know that. If these scholars could actually read the Bible, and if they would actually test what Pharisees like Josephus say with Scripture, duh. I mean, you just read a Pharisee and say, oh, everything that Josephus writes must be accurate. No, it's not. He was a liar. His history can be very good, and his theology is lousy. He even screwed up the whole Bible, telling us the wrong books based on the Pharisee canon in his day, which was a manipulated lie at that time. So, but if they actually read it, they would find his position illiterate on this. We researched to a further degree than most that we've ever found. So, it's so hilarious how academia will look at stuff like this in the dumbest way possible. This is additional support, and we will obliterate the illiterate claims of turkeys who call themselves scholars. Literally, oh, you are gonna gobble, gobble, gobble this up. You were warned. No debate in ignorance. Our channel, our rules. You will be muted. Try to disprove it. Go ahead. No one has in over 6 years now, and no one will. Comment on that on this video in attempted debate for a position you haven't even reviewed. Well, be muted. Done. There's really nothing to discuss on that, and that is the dumbest, most illiterate scholarship going today, and most scholars espouse it. Stupidity. We do know how to read English, don't we, scholars? No, you don't, and that's the problem. You need to learn how to read. His guess, though, is far better than ours or anyone else's, especially some scientist or professor who has never captained a large ship as such. Try to debate it here. Be muted. Our channel, our rules. Sometimes when you see a number twice like that, scholars get really confused. They have a tough time reading, of course. They tried to move the Sabbath from the seventh day to the first day, and specifically they even say so. So they moved it from Saturday to Sunday in Catholic record and doctrine, really illiterately. They had no authority to change the creation Sabbath. No pope has that. And any pope taking such authority is an imposter, and he will be in hell, I assure you. They certainly knew the Hebrew language, and they kind of knew what they were talking about. Modern scholars do not. They're using Yiddish-infused Hebrew, which is not Hebrew. It's not ancient Hebrew. It's not biblical Hebrew. Talk about stupid science. These idiots hang out in the margin of error. That's what you're seeing here. And this is what they do often. For so many things, drawing conclusions they can never draw. It's unscientific. Wow. This affirms the Bible account indeed. You don't have to put a dot on your forehead and become a Hindu in order to read this for geography. Duh. And use it and understand it. We all can. Remember, again, the Nepalese name for Mount Everest, or in other words, its actual name, because it's not Everest, that's new, is Sagarmatha, and it means head, or forehead, or temple, the part of your head, that temple, of the sea. The what? When was Mount Everest ever the forehead or head of the sea? How is that? Well, only during the flood, my friends. And the very name tells you this was still the tallest mountain, the forehead of the flood. Here's one from Dr. Francis Hamilton, which identifies a river south of Mount Everest as Ara, A-R-R-A. And that's very similar to the KJV Hebrew A-R-R-T. Interpreted Ararat in that case. Very close. This 1913 map also shows south of Everest an area called Ararash, and another area labeled Araria, however you say it. Now look it up, and you will find here we go again with the dumbest etymological assumption likely in all of history, and we find these far too often. Some British idiots claim that Araria was actually named more recently by a Brit who knew the area as the residential area, but for short said R period area. So R period A-R-E-A. Wait a minute, that's not the same word. That is buffoonery. How illiterate. You mean to tell us that the British scholars accidentally screwed up the English language, misspelling the word area of all words as aria instead of A-R-E-A, A-R-I-A? Really? Now that's illiterate. That didn't happen. And in addition, well, they added an A in front of the word. Or maybe they think residential is spelled a residential or a residential. Duh, that is insane. No, they did not. This is illiterate. This is an ancient name, just no maps prior really detailed the area. That's all. Araria and Ararat are very similar. Thus, the reason for these idiots to try to hide that. Regardless, they spell it pretty much like the British otherwise, and this is not a new name for our area. Surviving references to Ararat right there on maps, folks. Right there near the mountain where the ark landed, as it should be. Matching Indian history and the flood account wholly. Wow. The point here is it makes very logical sense that they would name something or an area in the Himalayas as Lubar, having lost the reference to Mount Everest, which the British did a real good job of screwing up in addition. C.G. Bruce, I think 1910, also recorded, basically refers to the highest Alp in the area, in which they were climbing as Lubar, L-U-B-A-R. Again, it's not Everest, but Lubar in the Himalayas. Wow. This is the only fit to Scripture, and that embarrassing occult nonsense in Turkey needs to leave the vocabulary of every scholar, or you will be called stupid, not just by us. And almost every one of them is out there repeating this ridiculous occult nonsense of the Nephilim Ark landing. Good job. Not even realizing they are calling the Bible wrong, number one. Not sure how they missed that if they're Bible scholars. And they are calling Noah a Nephilim. No, he was not. You can read the Satanic Bible. It's okay. Now that is good stuff.